Welcome back. It's time to look at Tom Lee. Okay, everyone's favorite Fundstrat ETH treasury holder, Bitmine, Tom Lee. Bunch of keywords I just threw at you there, Google. So, Tom Lee, in this 3-minute and 25-minute clip that Altcoin Daily posted, I don't know if this is from them specifically or whether this is just some, show or podcast that Tom was on today or yesterday. But Tom goes on to say that Ethereum can get to $62,000 per token. So, obviously, this is Tom Lee. This is basically the Michael Saylor of Ethereum when it comes to treasury strategies. They just bought like 600 million more worth of ETH last week, I believe, around that area. They're buying a lot. Them and Sharplink Gaming, Joe Lubin. If you guys were watching us yesterday on stream, you would know that. If you're back with us now, make sure to subscribe. Gandhi, back with it, brother. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for tapping in with us. So if you just joined the stream, appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. The money sign. Let's get it. So I'm going to play this clip real quick. 3 minutes and 25 seconds of Tom Lee talking about ETH going to $62,000. All right, guys, let's listen.
Well, here's Ethereum's price since 2018. And as you can see, there's two periods I'm shading here. These are called bases. And in Wyckoff's methodologies, they say the bigger the base, the bigger the breakout. And what they mean by that is that you're creating a lot of potential energy as a stock or a network asset bases, and then eventually leads to a breakout. Well, let's look at that breakout. In 2020, that breakout took place, and Ethereum went from $90 to $48.66, or 54 times increase. Well, the low point here in this base was $13.85. So with this breakout, we're expecting an upside move. Is it potentially 54x? I'm not sure, but that's what happened last time. Another way to think about Ethereum is the Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. And in our view, the tailwinds I'm talking about argue for an all-time high in this ratio. The 8-year average Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio is 0.04790, and it's currently 0.04032, meaning we're below the long-term average. The all-time high in this ratio was 0.080727. Of course, it started off higher, but I'm talking about the 2021 all-time high. So we think that not only should Ethereum recover to the long-term average, it should probably get to the all-time high ratio and arguably exceed it as we start talking about Ethereum acting as the chain for both Wall Street to build its payment rails and the financial system, as well as AI. So let's think about what that means for price. So I have a grid here. On the left side is Bitcoin price levels, and then going across are various levels of the Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. Our year-end target, this is from the Fundstrat side, for Bitcoin is $250,000. And if you look at the 8-year average, okay, then you can see the range of prices for Ethereum using this ratio and different levels of Bitcoin. And here's the 2021 high. And as you can see, at a $250,000 Bitcoin, you get to somewhere between $12,000 and $22,000 value per Ethereum token. But that's just a ratio recovery. If you look at the replacement cost of payment rails and the banking system, that gets you to an implied value of Ethereum of around 60,000. And that puts the ratio at roughly 0.2500 Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. And as you can see, that's how you get to 60.
Okay, let's pause it there. So $62,500 ETH. Okay. It's a 2021 high. We're looking at the ETH payment rails 8-year average. This is very interesting. ETH to Bitcoin ratio. Yeah, guys. Tom Lee, if you don't know who he is, we've made videos about him. We've talked about him a lot. This is Bitmine, Fundstrat. He's been in the Wall Street tech world for a long time, and he is taking a Bitcoin mining company and converting it to an Ethereum treasury company. Very interesting. So he's made bold predictions in the past that have come true. He's pretty much come out of nowhere here in regards to jumping on the crypto scene. But when he speaks, we've listened so far. He's made a big splash. So I'm going to play the rest of this last 25 seconds, and then we'll go from there.
$2,000 per Ethereum token. So plenty of upside. I also asked Fundstrat's Mark Newton for his technical take on Ethereum, and he thinks Ethereum could reach 9,000 by early January. According to him, Ethereum could reach 9,000 in late January, but he also believes that in September, Ethereum could be set to reach somewhere between 5,500 or so.
Okay. 5,500 or so. So that is very interesting. Why is that interesting? Let me just turn this music back up a little bit. Well, it's interesting, guys, because, we talked about on the earlier lives, when is this GigaChad bull run going to get kicked off, right? This crazy altcoin season, is it going to be Q4 of this year, or are we going to have to wait till 2026, maybe sometime in Q1? Well, everybody has different indicators of when things are going to pop off. Like I said, we are not future tellers, guys. What we do here in the Coin Zone is we just take a look at some of these these charts, these metrics. We look at previous bull runs. We look at previous cycles and history. But when smart people talk, we listen, guys. ETH could reach 9K into late January 2026, or sometime in September. That's September now, guys. It's September 2nd. We could see ETH get up to 5,500 maybe, right? If that goes to 5,500 and ETH clearly, doesn't just dabble above its all-time high, it continues to break past it. We saw something very similar with Bitcoin, actually. Bitcoin kind of just reached its all-time high, and everyone was like, oh my God, yes. And then it just kind of chilled for a little bit. Everyone was like, oh my God, it's over. We're screwed. Oh my gosh. And then what happened? It just kept freaking running, dude. Went over 100K, went to 125 recently. Okay, swung back down a little bit. Is ETH going to do something similar? I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if it just swings grotesquely past 4,900 or 5,000 and then swings to like 6,000, 6,500, something crazy. And then everything else kicks off. So I don't know. I'm not a future teller. Like I said, guys, none of this is ever investment advice here at the Coin Zone. We're just looking at all angles and sides of everything. Anything that is news story worthy, we're taking a look at. And like I said, Tom Lee is a big name. So it's going to be him and Saylor in the future. And anybody else willing to do what these guys are doing with Bitcoin or Ethereum. We're seeing other Bitcoin treasury strategies pop up like 21 Capital, Jack Mallers, and Tether. Other companies as well. We're also seeing other countries do similar things. Companies in other countries do similar things. So you also got to remember, guys, this is a global thing. It's not just the United States. It's not like stocks. Well, you can own stocks globally, but it's different, guys. This is what we're focusing on here at the Coin Zone. A lot of interesting, exciting things happening. Ethereum could possibly get to $62,000 according to Tom Lee. Nice. Okay. We love predictions. Gandhi, I would like to call ETH at 18K at the top of this cycle. Yeah, I said it, 18K. Damn. That would be nuts. If we see an 18K ETH, where we're at now, that's another, yeah. And most people in crypto, especially if you're just getting in, that's not even enough for you. But you got to understand that's pretty amazing. Just compared to where ETH was, where its future is, where its ceiling is. If it really is 62,000, then zoom out, buy and hold. It's the best strategy. Everybody wants instant gratification, short-term games, gains, but you know, you got to have a long-term mindset, I feel like, to ultimately win in this space. You can get lucky. I know people, you know, who trade, they make money and they're fine, but there's just something different about having a long-term mindset, in my opinion. Interesting. Gandhi, appreciate the interactions. I'll get back to you on X. Yeah, guys, more stuff to come here on the Coin Zone. It's Tuesday, September 2nd. Chat, comment, and let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm very curious where the audience is coming from. If you guys are in the US, Europe, somewhere else, very curious. But feel free to interact. Don't be a stranger. You know what we do here in the Coin Zone. We're breaking everything down. This is a video we shared of Tom Lee predicting Ethereum in the future getting to 62,000. And again, guys, I wanted to play this clip because Tom Lee is not a dumb person. He breaks things down with charts, with data, with reason, with logic. So stick around. I'll be back for another live stream soon. Once again, you are watching the Coin Zone. If you haven't subbed on YouTube yet, go ahead and do that for me. If you don't follow us here on X, do that for me as well. I'm Crypto with Paul. I'll see you guys again.